did you get interested in this cleanup project?
I know some of the city officials as well as the new administration coming in here, and it's the first call to give service to the city and solve some of the problems that are coming upon the next 4 years and beyond.
Okay, and what do you think is one of the most important problems that the city of Chicago is facing?
Well, again, there's a lot of financial and economic issues, but the biggest thing that as citizens of the city of Chicago, we need to get involved, we need to be a voice, we need to communicate, we also need to be participants. So in terms of events like this, or in terms of working with the CAPS program or education, basically what we need to do is more involved participation like this, because city government is on constraints. So, you know, we have to work harder and smarter, and so what we need to do is we need to do our part. That means to compact our trash, to try to pick up, be more involved, and that's a key thing in terms of overcoming the financial and growth of the city. Involved with our schools, involved with our community, involved with safety. So, and then the other question about the Bubbly Creek area is what you wanted to know. This area basically started out as an area of the Michigan-Illinois canal system. In the 1830s, a canal travel was the biggest way to move commerce until the railroads came in here. But also with it also came an economic industrial area. This was the biggest growth for the packing industry. Chicago was the main thoroughfare of the railroad, so it was easy to bring in cows and to start Armour and Swift. Unfortunately, when you slaughter animals, process it, there's a lot of waste. While they were able to do things with the bones and the hoof, there was still a lot of runoff of blood and other debris and biohazardous materials. So eventually the safest way to deal with that was to put it in the water system. And very badly in terms of the 1880s, 1890s, up into the 1920s, there was a lot of pollution in the river in this general area here. That would either sit on the top of the water, or it would go to the bottom, decompose, and create a lot of methane. So it's been years and years and years in terms of working with EPA Clean Water Act from the 70s to try to clean it up. In fact, the EPA this week talked about working on the process to clean the Chicago River so it's more usable, just not for fish, but also swimming and other type of recreation. It takes millions of dollars involvement with the community, but it's something that can happen, and we have to pick and choose how we want to keep our waterways, our environments, and this is a good example of community getting involved.
Right. If you were mayor of Chicago, what would you do to help the situation?
In terms of the environment, or in terms of
Bubbly Creek specifically?
Well, and again, the EPA and the federal government just came out and talked about ways to make the water cleaner. And again, it requires working with the Metropolitan Water District as well as businesses. We still have some commercial here that are working and maybe placing some of their waste into the sewage system. Cleaner, better filters, working with the different agencies, city, federal, state, district water reclamation areas. It has to keep the money, but the technology in terms of filters and trying to preserve the water is great, because again, water comes from the sky, water goes into our system, it does go out in the lake, so it's a thing in which we can put waste down in our water system, that we recycle it, you know, don't put our oils for our cars, our prescriptions, things like that. We can recycle them smarter, as well as help support some of the policies that are occurring for ourselves, our children, and our grandchildren.
In terms of commercial development, do you think that will help the river? Because I know that in several parts of the river, Mayor Daley tried to develop and make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing. So how do you see the city of Chicago using commercial development as a way to kind of mitigate this, all this trash, and make sure Bubbly Creek goes back to a more environmentally clean place?
Well, it's got to be a balance between development and environmental responsibility. And again, we have to work in terms of when we build new developments that these sewage or outtake systems do not go directly in, that the sewer system is updated and maintained, that the Water Metropolitan Recreation District has the ability so when the waste and the other development runoff goes into the system, that it can be processed. And again, you have to work with environmentalists, you have to work with impact studies to look at how our water and our land are affected. And again, there has to be a balance. Developers can't get everything they want to make a profit, but yet environmentalists have to know that we have to develop areas, we can't leave areas fallow. Look at what's happening in an area that's been neglected, and debris as well as other things from non-participant, non-caring individuals can affect a community, affect a city, affect a state and a country. So, there has to be a balance between developers and environmentalists, and we have to recognize the importance of each side.
So are you optimistic for the future of Chicago in regards to its water systems?
It's not easy. It's going to be a lot of hard work. We're going to be some sacrifice and taking on more of the burden, be it either taking on more of the responsibility of our services, paying a little bit more, helping those in need, but yet those of us who are doing well in our income, kicking in a little bit more, giving leadership and assisting. So, it's a balancing act. Chicago's a great city. It's always, where the motto is I will, city of the green. But again, it needs citizens being involved, everyone, taking the time, setting their priorities, and really being active. And today's a good example of Chicagoans looking at the future, looking at today and saying, we can do it, we can help, we have hope for the future, we believe.
Great. That just gave me the chills. Thank you so much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much for coming out and documenting and sharing the information. We have to know where we've been to know where we're at, where we're heading. And
I agree.
Involved, so.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you.